Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this session. In the previous session, we looked into two essential tools. That is a pig, and another one is the hive. And pig, how we can use the pig? We using a pig, we can write a very complex MapReduce programming. And the pig, it sits on the top of the Hadoop ecosystem. So this will work as a on top of the Hadoop, and it will be we will be able to write the complex MapReduce programming in terms of a scripts. So Pig is a scripting language. Then we looked into Hive. Hive is it is like on top of a Hadoop we have the data warehouse infrastructure. Hadoop Hive provides data warehouse infrastructure. Data warehouse, as we understand, it is a huge amount of data that is stored, and that data will be used for running the analytics. So aggregation, summations, things like that. So that is the purpose of using the data warehouse infrastructure. And we also saw the examples on both on the pig programming, MapReduce programming, as well as the Hive, how we can create the table, how we can store the data which is in a file into a structured format. And once we have the data in the structured format, we can run any transformation. One example we looked into yesterday was there was a movie review data that was available in a file, and there are about 10,000 sorry 100,000 reviews are there, and those 100,000 reviews are stored in a file. And we downloaded that file, and in that file we had user id, then movie id, then rating and Unix time. First, as an example, we loaded that particular file into the table that we created, and after loading that particular data, we use the Hive, and we created a one mapper using the Python programming. That mapper basically it will transform the Unix time into a weekday. So weekday would be numbered between 1 and 7. So that is the transformation that will happen. After the transformation, it was loaded into another new table. So that example we looked in, and also we ran the query on the new table to find how many reviews are there for each of the days. So we used the select query, select weekday comma count star from that particular table, and group by the weekday. So when we group by the weekday, for each of the day we will get the count. So for example, weekday 1, that is Monday, we will get one particular number, 2 another number. So each day we will come to know how many reviews are getting posted. Now we will continue with the next essential tool, that is Scoop, Apache Scoop. And what is a Apache Scoop? Apache Scoop, we can use it for importing and exporting data from the Hadoop, that is HDFS file system, into an relational database, or vice versa. Either we can export the data from Hadoop to the external relational database, or we can import data from the external relational database into the Hadoop file system. That can be achieved using the Scoop. Scoop is a tool designed to transfer data between Hadoop and relational database. And here the relational database can be any relational database, uh, basically with version 1, any database which supports the JDBC, that is Java Database Connectivity. That particular database can be used for the Scoop, along with the Scoop. So which are the different databases that we can use is like we can use the Oracle database, MySQL, we can use the SQL Server. Any relational database that can that supports JDBC can be used along with the Scoop. You can use Scoop to import data from Relational Data Management System (RDBMS) into the Hadoop distributed file system. Transform the data in Hadoop, and also we can do the transformation. Okay, whenever you are loading the data, we can transform And example of the transform I told you, one example we already saw with Hive was like we transform the Unix time. Okay, Unix time was just a number. That number we converted into an weekday. That is a transformation. And another example I told you about is the date of birth can be converted into age. So similarly, there are many data elements that can be transformed into another form for some useful purposes. That transformation can be done when we are importing and then export the data back into RDBMS. And Scoop can be used with a Java database connected, JDBC compliant database. So databases should be JDBC compliant, and these are the examples of the databases we can have: Microsoft SQL Server, PostgreSQL. This is another relational database, MySQL, and Oracle. In version 1, uh, the scoop data is accessed using this JDBC connector. But in version 2 and in version 1, all these connectors were very specific to the particular database. Like we had a connector for to connect to the SQL server. We have a separate connector for connecting to the PostgreSQL. So the connectors were different. But in version 2, it does not support connectors or version 1 data transfer from RDBMS directly to Hive or HBase. So, version 1 it used to support the connectors, and directly data can be loaded from the RDBMS into the Hive or a HBase. Hive we have already seen. HBase is similar to a relational database on a Hadoop cluster. So this was not supported in version 2, or data transfer from Hive or HBase to your RDBMS. In version, it was possible to import the data from external RDBMS into Hive or HBase, or data can be sent from Hive or HBase directly to the external RDBMS. But with version 2, that support was stopped, and instead, what we have was a more generalized ways to accomplish this task. So, more generic ways of connecting a RDBMS and getting the data. When we say generic ways of connecting to the database, means it was not written with respect to particular database. This connection connector was not with respect to Oracle, or not with respect to MySQL, or not with respect to any particular RDBMS. It was a very generic way of making the connection. Because in version 1 we had a very specific connectors for each of these databases. So we will see the Apache Scoop import and export methods. So these are the two methods we have: import method as well as the export method. Import method, as name suggests, this will get the data from the external RDBMS into HDFS. Export is the meaning, means it will send the data from the HDFS to the RDBMS. So here you can see this particular diagram. Okay, so this is the two-step scoop data import method. So first is like gather the metadata. This is the RDBMS we have, and we are going to do the scoop import. First, it is going to gather the all the metadata about the RDBMS, and once it has all the information, then it will submit the map only job. So there is no reduce job; it is only map jobs. So that is how it will get the data from the RDBMS into the HDFS storage. So all the map programs will run in parallel, and it will load all the data, whichever the data you are trying to load, all that data will get loaded into our HDFS system. Okay, so that figure describes the scoop data import process. The data import is done in two steps. First step is Scoop examines the database and gathers all the metadata. So first, whichever database it is going to get the data from, it is going to gather all the metadata related to the database and related to the what kind of a data it is importing. And once it has the all the metadata, then the second step is it will run the map only Hadoop jobs. Map only, because we don't have the reduce. Map only will get the data from the RDBMS and it will load into the HDFS. So the second step is a map only, no reduce step Hadoop job that Scoop submits to the cluster. The job does the actual data transfer using the metadata captured in the previous step. Note that each node is doing import must have access to the external database. So whichever all these programs, map only programs which are running must have access to this particular database. Then only it will be able to directly get the data from that particular database and load into the HDFS. And imported data is saved into HDFS directly. We will see the example where it will be very clear. Scoop will use a database name for the directory, or the user can specify any alternative directory where the file should be populated. Once we get the data using the Scoop, it will be stored in a directory. By default, the name of the directory would be the name of the database. Alternatively, we can specify what the name of the directory should be. By default, these files contain comma delimited fields. So whenever it is copying the data, by default it will be comma delimited. What is the meaning of comma delimited? Every data element will be separated by a comma, and with every record will be separated by the new line. Means suppose if I have one record, that particular record, all the data elements will be separated by the comma. At the end of the record, a new line will be inserted. The next record will come on a next line. Comma separated with a new line separating different records, you can easily override the format in which data are copied over by explicitly specifying the field separator, record terminator characters. Once placed in the HDFS, the data is ready for processing. By default, data elements are separated by comma, and the record ends with a new line. If you want, you can change the configuration. You can have a different separator and a separator for the fields, and also you can have a different record terminator, means which ends the record. The next one is the data export. Data export is very similar. This is the example of a data export. First, we will see the diagram. This is also same two-step. In this case, it is a data export. Export in the sense, data which is stored in the HDFS system will be sent to the RDBMS. Again, these programs need to have access to write into the RDBMS database. So here, first step is the Scoop will gather the metadata about the RDBMS. Once all the metadata is available, then it will run the map only jobs. It will submit the map only jobs which will extract the whatever the specified data. What data you have specified, it will take that data and it will start loading into the external RDBMS. Data export from the cluster works in a similar fashion. The way the import works, the export also works in the similar fashion. Only the direction of the data flow will change. In import, the data will flow from RDBMS to HDFS. In case of an export, data will flow from HDFS to the RDBMS. The export is done in two steps as shown in the figure. The import process, the first step is to examine the database for metadata. The export step again uses map only Hadoop job to write data into the database. Scoop divides the input dataset into a split splits, then uses individual map tasks to push the splits to the database. Again, this process assumes the map task have access to the database. So all these map tasks have the access to the database. Whatever the input data, that will be split, and each splitted data will be taken care by the each of the map programs. So we will have as many as map programs, as many as splitted data. If I have 10 split of the data, then we will have the 10 mapping programs or the processes. Okay. As we talked earlier, version 1 of the scope, it used the specialized connectors. Okay, what is the meaning of a specialized connector? Means we had connectors which are written to connect to a very specific database. We will have a separate connector to connect to the Oracle. We have a separate connector to connect to the MySQL, and all these connectors, it will be supporting the JDBC, through which we can make the connections. Connectors are plugin components based on Scoop's extension framework and can be added to any existing Scoop installation. So this is like a kind of a plugin. Uh, these connectors, you can use it as a plugin, and you can use it with any installation. Once connection is installed, Scoop can use efficiently transfer the data between Hadoop and the external store supported by the connector. So once we have the connector installed, let us say in your particular project you are dealing with Oracle database, then you can install the connector which is related to the Oracle, and you can start using that particular connector to transfer the data between the external RDBMS and the HDFS. Okay, by default, Scoop includes the connectors for popular databases. So you will see all the connectors by default. It is available for MySQL, Postgres, SQL, Oracle, SQL Server, DB2. So it is already available by default. And if you have any requirement for any new kind of a database, you have to install that particular connector. So in version 2, that was the version 1. In version 2, as we talked about, it did not support the specialized connectors, right? And you cannot directly import from in case of version 1, you can directly import or export to HBase or the Hive which is present on the Hadoop system. In case of a version 2, that particular support is stopped. And in case of a version 2, we had a more generic kind of a connections. This is the comparison between the Scoop version 1 and version 2. You can see here feature connectors for all the major RDBMS supported. Means in version 1 we had connectors for all major databases. In case of a version 2 not supported, use the generic JDBC connector. So we have to make a very generic connections, not a very specific connectors. Then Kerberos security integration, it was supported. In version 2, it is not supported. Data transfer from RDBMS to Hive or HBase, this was supported in the version 1, and it is not supported in version 2. First, import data from RDBMS into HDFS, then load into the Hive or HBase manually. So, in case of a version 2, how we can load into suppose Hive or HBase. First, we have to get the data from external RDBMS into HDFS. Okay. Once you have data in our Hadoop distributed file system, from there we can load it into a Hive or HBase. This particular example, Hive, we already looked. We got a one file, if you remember, the in the last session, u.data. Okay, that is the movie rating information was there. That data is loaded into an Hive table, right? So similar fashion, if you want to get a data from the external RDBMS, first get it as a file into HDFS. Once it is in HDFS, then you can use the loading methods provided by the Hive or the HBase. Data transfer from Hive or HBase to RDBMS not supported. So this is from Hive to the external RDBMS. It is not supported. First export data from Hive or HBase into HDFS, then use Scoop for export. So here, whatever the data that is stored in the Hive or HBase, first you have to get onto the HDFS from Hive or HBase. Once we have data on the HDFS, then we can use the Scoop for exporting. So here also same, not supported. First export data from Hive or HBase into HDFS, then Scoop for the export. Here is the example. Okay, first you have to make sure that you download the Scoop. Okay, Scoop it is available from the Scoop website, and also it provides information about how to download for a particular operating system, and also it will give information about what are the different configurations that we have to do. So first download the Scoop, download and load sample MySQL data. MySQL data, in this particular example, they are going to use this RDBMS. This data will be transferred between MySQL and HDFS using Scoop. Add Scoop user permission for the local machine and cluster. So we have to give permission to the Scoop user so that it will be able to write the data. Okay, so that permission should be given. Import data from MySQL to HDFS. So this is the fourth step. We are going to get the data which is stored in the MySQL into HDFS. Then next one is we are going to export data from HDFS into MySQL. This is the environment requirement. Okay. So here Scoop version we have 1.4.5 and working installation of MySQLs on the host. Wherever you are running the Scoop, on that host you should have the MySQL RDBMS up and running. Okay, so these are the steps that we have to follow to understand the example. First step is download Scoop and load sample MySQL database. Okay, if you are not done already, so make sure Scoop is installed on your cluster. Scoop is needed on only single node in your cluster. The Scoop node will then serve as an entry point for all connecting Scoop clients. Because Scoop node is a Hadoop MapReduce client, it requires both Hadoop installation and access to HDFS. So whatever the programs we talked about now, Pig or a Hive or a Scope, under the cover, they are going to run the MapReduce jobs. Okay, so if Scoop is not installed, you have to make sure that the Scoop is installed. And if it is available as a part of a HDP distribution, you can use this command. You can say yum install Scoop and Scoop hyphen metastore. So this will install. And if you want to install it, install the database MySQL, you can visit the MySQL website, and from there you can download. This database has three tables. We are going to have three tables. First table is the country. In this particular table, in MySQL, we are going to have three tables. In country table, we are going to have information about all the countries, excuse me, all the countries of the world. In city, we are going to have a information about all the cities in whatever the countries we have stored in country table. Then country language, uh, language spoken in each of those countries. This is the data. These are the tables we are going to have in MySQL. To get the database, use wget to download and then extract the file. So this is how we can get the data. Here wget, and we are providing the location of that particular resource, and then we are unzipping. Okay, this is gunzip. GZ extension is for the gunzip. We can use the gunzip to extract all the files that are stored in that particular file, gunzip file. Next, log into MySQL and import the desired database from the following steps. Okay. So here the step, we assume that Scoop is installed, MySQL is installed without any problems. Once you have all the installation done, then we have to connect to the MySQL. So we are connecting to the MySQL as a root user. Once we make the connection, then you will see the MySQL prompt. In MySQL prompt, you will create all the required things. So first thing what would we need is we will create a database. The command for that is create space database space world. So the database we are creating in MySQL, name of that database instance is world. This is the name of the database instance. Then MySQL use word. Okay, we are going to use that particular instance of the word. Then source word underscore innodb.sql. So inside this SQL we have a create table commands. So that will create the three tables. So here in this particular SQL we have the instruction to create city, country, and the country language, and show tables. It will list all the three tables. Okay. So these are the commands to create the table. Show create table country, then show create table city, show create table country language. The uh, uh, this instruction will, once the tables are created here, so in this step, this particular .sql has a script to create the city table, country table, and the country language. After this successfully executes, we will have these three tables created inside the MySQL. Suppose if you want to see the details, what is been stored in that particular table, you can use the command show create table country, which will show the details. Similarly, you can see the details for the city table, then country language. Then step 2 is add scoop user permission for the local machine and the cluster. Once we have all the tables, then we have to give the permission for the scoop user, so that scoop user is the one who is going to do the import and export from this MySQL database. In MySQL, add the following privileges for scoop to MySQL. Note that you must use both local host name and the cluster subnet for scoop to work properly. Also, for the purpose of this example, scoop password is scoop. So this is the command we have. Grant is the command. Most of the databases use very similar kind of commands. So grant is when you want to give the permission. Grant all means you want to give all privileges on word dot star, means word is the our database instance, and dot star means all the objects that are available in the word database instance. 2, so we are giving all privileges for the scoop user on the word database objects, all the word database objects. To scoop at, this is the local host, this is where our MySQL is running. Identified by the password, identified by the password for this is scoop is scoop. Similarly, this is another where you are giving the actual URL as a percentage. Okay. Next step is login as a scoop to test the permission. We will log in into the MySQL using the scoop user. So MySQL, my dash hyphen u scoop hyphen p, that will log in you as a scoop user. Then use word means we are going to use the word database instance. Show tables, it will list all the tables. So you can see scoop user can also see all these tables. these tables are created using some other user ID. So in the earlier step, if you remember, so here this is the step where we created the all the three tables, and we use the root user. If root user was the only owner, then other users will not see the tables. That is why the next step was to provide a access. So this step grant all privileges on all the objects that are available in the word database. In our example, we are talking about the three tables. So giving permission to these three tables to the scoop user. So that is why in the when we logged in as a scoop user, we are able to see all the three tables. Next, we will quit once that is done. Now we will do the actual import of the data using the scoop. So this is how we are going to do it. We can use scoop to list databases in MySQL. The results appear after the warnings at the end of the output. Note that the use of a local host name, Limulus, this is the local host name in JDBC statement. So here is the comment. Here is the command scoop. What is the command we are using? List databases. We want to see all the databases where I can make a connections. Then hyphen hyphen connect. These are the options. Hyphen hyphen, whenever you see, these are the different options. So connect, where to connect? JDBC colon MySQL colon forward slash. This is the host. Okay. This is the host name, and this is the database instance word. Again hyphen hyphen username. Which user we are going to use? We are going to use the scoop user, and hyphen hyphen password. This is the password for this particular user. So you will see some of the warning and all that information. Then okay, so result set, you can see information underscore schema test word. So these are the different databases that are available in MySQL. Word is the one we have created for our example. So similarly, using the scoop, we can also list the tables. How to do that? You will say scoop space list hyphen tables. Then this particular thing is exactly the same, where you are giving the connection string. This is called as a connection string, where you are specifying the host and the instance, and you are providing the username scoop, and you are providing the password for that particular user. And what we are going to do here, we are listing the tables. If you see here, we did not log in into the MySQL. We are doing it from the scoop, and you can see the result set here. It is showing all the tables: city, country, and country language. These are the three tables we have created in MySQL database. Now, how to import the data? Before we make the import, we will create a new directory. How to create the new directory? SDFS space DFS space make directory. This is the HDFS command, and name of the folder is scoop hyphen MySQL hyphen import. This is the folder that will be created in the current directory. Next, now we have to do the actual import. The following command imports the country table into HDFS. The option hyphen table signifies the table to import, and hyphen hyphen target directory is the directory created previously, and hyphen M1 tells scoop to use map task to import the data. Okay, we'll see that. The command here scoop. Now we are saying import. We are going to import the data, and this is the connection string from here to here. The option used is hyphen hyphen connect, and you provide the connection string username, same as the before. Earlier we did the listing of the databases, listing of the tables. Similar to that, we provide the connect username and the password. Then hyphen hyphen table. So this is the table. This is the target table from where Scoop is going to get the data. So Scoop will connect to this country table, and whatever the data that is available in the country, it is going to import. and hyphen M1. This specifies there is a one MapReduce program, and hyphen hyphen target directory. Once we import the this particular table from the MySQL, that data will be stored in this target directory. And what is the target directory? User forward slash SDFS forward slash scoop hyphen MySQL hyphen import forward slash country. We just created this folder. Inside that, as a country, it will be stored. All the information will be stored. Now you can see the MapReduce program runs behind this screen. It will get the data. So it is again two-step method. It will get the metadata. Once it gets the metadata, then it will do the it will submit the map programs. It will submit the map only programs, and it will get the data. Map only programs will get the data from the country table, and it will load into HDFS. Now, once this step is complete, information retrieved 239 records. So you can see 239 records are retrieved after successful import by the scoop. And now you can check the folder where we have given the target directory. So what was the target directory? You can see hyphen hyphen target hyphen directory. This is the directory which we gave. So it is scoop hyphen MySQL hyphen import, and inside that we have a country folder. Just we will do the listing of that particular folder, hdfs hyphen dfs hyphen space hyphen ls. This is ls is the command to list. Then we have provided that particular folder, and you can see whenever we have already seen this, whenever MapReduce program successfully runs, it will create a empty file. Okay, empty file with a name underscore success, and actual results will be stored in another file, excuse me, part hyphen m hyphen 00000. In this particular file we will have all the information stored. And if you want to see this particular file, what is the content of this, we can use the cat command. Okay, the cat command will display whatever is the content of that particular file. So I will say hdfs space dfs space hyphen cat, and then I will provide the name of that particular file. So name of the file including the folder. So scoop hyphen MySQL hyphen import. Inside that there is a country folder. Inside that I have the part hyphen m hyphen 50. This is the name of the file. When you list that, it will list all the content, whatever is the 239 records are there. All those records will be displayed on the console. For the example, you can see this is a ABW, that is Aruba, North America. It is about the country information. All the country information is there about the Aruba. Similarly, next record you can say Zimbabwe. This is the country code, country name, then continent. So maybe it is structured in that way. So this is how we can do the import. To make the scoop command more convenient, you can create a option file. Okay, so if you saw, every time we are giving the scoop command, we are giving this connection string, right? Hyphen hyphen connect, then we provide the connection string, we provide hyphen hyphen username, actual username, password. These things are repeated. If you want, just to avoid that, there is an option to do that. You can create one option file, and in that option file you can directly specify. So you can see here, this is the option file we can have. Inside the option file, and the name of the option file should be like something like this: word hyphen options dot txt. Excuse me. Inside that text file you can have all the options. So first thing you will say import, then next line hyphen hyphen connect, then connection string hyphen hyphen username, then you will say uh, actual username, then hyphen hyphen password, you will provide the password. Now, instead of providing the whole complete information about all these options, now you can just give that option file. Now, whatever the command we executed earlier, that is similar to this one, scoop hyphen hyphen options hyphen file. And what is the name of the file we have given? Word hyphen options dot text. Inside that, on the first line, we have import, then we have all the connection string. So it will automatically read that particular file for the options. Then hyphen hyphen table city. Here we are going to extract the city data and one map reduce program. Then target directory. In the same directory, I'm going to create another directory called city. Now, when this command, once this scoop command executes successfully, the data that is present in the city table will be copied onto the HDFS in this city folder. If it is successful, we will have a one file, empty file as with a name underscore success. Then another file we will have is part hyphen m hyphen 00000, that will contain all the data which is present in the city table, which is available in the MySQL database. It is also possible to include SQL query in the import step, for example. So instead of giving the a table name, we can give the query. Suppose you don't want all the cities, okay? So suppose you want to get only cities that are present in the Canada, then what you can say is select id name from city where country code is equal to can. Okay, can stands for the Canada. What this query will, it will get a subset of the record that is present in the city table, and only that subset of the data in the sense what, it will get all the cities which belong to Canada. Means we are going to get only Canadian cities, only those records will be imported. And how to do that? We have a option hyphen hyphen query. So first is scoop hyphen hyphen option file. This option file we just talked about. I have all the connection string, user ID and password information inside this text file. Then one MapReduce program, target directory. Okay, I have a new folder called Canada City. Then hyphen hyphen query. Instead of having a table earlier, in the earlier we had hyphen hyphen table. Instead of that, I have hyphen hyphen query. You can see hyphen hyphen query, and I will provide the actual query. So select ID name from city where country code is equal to can, and this conditions, dollar conditions is a environmental variable. So this will get only the cities that are available in Canada, and it will load that into Canada-city. So in Canada-city, I will have one empty file with underscore success and another file part hyphen m hyphen 00000. If you cat, so this is a cat command to see what data is present in this particular file, then you will see ID. So what information we are getting? ID and name. So this is the ID of the city and the name of the city. 1810 comma Montreal, and we are not specifying the separators or the field separators or the record separators. That is why all these data elements are separated by the comma and records are separated by the new line. So this is the first record, 1810 comma Montreal. Then it will go to the next line, 1811 comma Calgary. So these are the different cities that are present in the country Canada. Okay. So since there is only one mapper process, hyphen m space one, that specify one mapper, only one copy of the query needed to be run on the database, because all the results would be only available in one single file, part m 00000. That is the file. So if we use multiple mappers. There is an option to use multiple mappers. Then what we have to give is a hyphen hyphen split by. So you can, and how we can split the data? You can split the data based on any conditions that you wish. Okay, according to that condition, we can split the data using the hyphen hyphen split by option. For example, here you can see we have first we are removing the folder, and we are going to run the query using the mapper 4 hyphen m. 4 means we are going to have 4 mappers, and where we split by the id number. Okay, split by id. So whatever the id is there, we are going to split according to the id. So how we are going to run that scoop program? Scoop option file, this is the name of the file, 4 mappers, target directory, Canada city, and query select id name from city where country code is equal to can, and dollar conditions. So this dollar conditions is nothing but the id. So it is going to split by the id. The same query, whatever, suppose if it gets 100 records and we have 4 different ids in that, distinct ids, then 100 records will be divided into 25 records with each unique id, and the 4 mappers will do the import of those 25 records, and they will run in parallel. Okay, now in the result files, now we will see 4 files instead of 1 file. We will see 4 files. We are doing the listing hdfs dfs ls scoop mysql import / canada city. This is the folder where we have all the information or the results, and you can see there are this is the underscore success empty file. 0 is the it is an empty file. So underscore success tells that this operation, the scoop operation, import operation is successful, and we have 4 files. Because there are 4 mappers, we have 4 files. This is the first one, part hyphen m, all zeros, part hyphen m 0 0 0 0 1 2 and 3. That is how the complete result will be stored in 4 different files. Export data from HDFS to MySQL. Now, what we did was we got the data from RDBMS into our HDFS. Now, how to export the data from HDFS to the any table? Scoop can also be used to export the data from HDFS. The first step is to create tables for exported data. There are actually 2 tables needed for each exported data. The first table holds the exported data, and the second one is the staging data. Okay, staging, for the staging purpose, we will have one more table. For creating those tables, this is the command. We are creating the new table. Create table. This is a SQL command for creating a table. You logged into MySQL and you will create the table. Whichever user you are using to log in and create the table, that user will have the scoop will must have access to those tables. Okay, either you grant it before creating, okay, or you directly use the scoop user, or once you create the table, you provide the grants to whatever the new tables created. Create table, name of the table is city export, and what are the fields I have? ID, which is integer, not null, auto increment, then name, this is a character, country code character, district character. So this is a character of length 20. So it is basically, it holds 20 characters. Population integer, and primary key is id. Id is the primary key, and automatically it will increment. So this is city export. Then one more table which is exactly same like this, but only difference is name is different. I will have 2 tables of the same structure, city export staging. Next, create cities export option.txt, similar to the options file we created for the import. we are going to create a options file for the export. Okay, and inside this particular file we will have the first line as export, not the import. So then rest of the things are exactly the same. Once you have that option file created, this is how you are going to run it. Scoop option file, name of the option file, here it is cities hyphen export hyphen options.txt, and what is the target table? This is the table that is present on the MySQL. Now export is what? We are going to export the data from HDFS and we are going to copy it onto the MySQL table. So this is the target table city export which is available on MySQL. Then staging table, this is the name of the staging table, and hyphen hyphen clear staging table, four mappers, and export directory from where we are going to export. This is the directory. We already we ran a import in this particular table. We have all the result files. There are four files with the data. Now I'm going to export the same data into city export table, right? So from these four files data will be stored back into the MySQL in this particular table. Once this operation is complete successful, then you can go back to the MySQL, login, and check select star from city export limit 10. I don't want to see all the data, just I want to see few data. So when you say select star from city export, earlier it was empty because just we created the table, and after successful scoop export, now it has the data. You can see the data is present. And once you do all these operations, we have to do the cleanup. Okay, because we created additional tables. First one is the this one, city export staging. Drop the table, delete data from city export staging, and clean up the directories. So when you run next time, again you are going to create those temporary tables and temporary folders, and you are going to re-execute whatever the import and export you want to execute. So that completes the importing and exporting of data from HDFS to RDBMS, and from RDBMS to HDFS.